Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Thursday's 13 episode where we look at 13 things on a list and we tell you all about them. I think today is movies that aren't thrillers and Christmas, right? That's what you said. The thrillers of Christmas time. They're not Christmas films.
Thrillers that take place
in Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas.
Yeah.
Films you don't think of in Christmas.
Yeah. Like Die Hard, for example, is what we were talking about before the show started. This is Before Coffee, the father and daughter comprehensive news of Planet Earth podcast, where we look up our news 10 to 15 minutes before we've started and we haven't had any caffeine. So let's look at the general news that's happened today on the second day of Christmas. Today on Before Coffee, pressure mounts over Boxing Day hunts as ministers accused of picking another fight with rural communities.
A neutrino detector in China aims to spot mysterious ghost particles that we can't see.
The undersea tunnels that connect remote islands halfway between Iceland and Scotland.
And on Thursday's 13, we talk about 10 thrillers you forgot take place during Christmas.
For culture news, what's the news? A guide to Kwanzaa.
And also, it's National Whiners Day, so I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas, and everybody's mean to me yesterday, and the food was bad, and it's cold outside, and my... Anyway, it's December 26th, 2024, and Before Coffee.
Welcome back, guys. Let's get started with our first news story on the first day of Kwanzaa / also the second day of Christmas. Yep, lots of things happening today, just like how yesterday was Hanukkah and Christmas at the same time.
It's Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's Boxing Day for those in the UK.
I think Canada also is Boxing.
And speaking of Boxing Day, thank you for the segue.
I mean, you just switch places with your boss. Switch places with your boss. That's what it means, right?
Fox hunts are a normal activity for people. Oh, I didn't start my music. A normal activity for those people out in the UK. Well, some people. And it's becoming a bit of a political issue for the Labour government. It's been a political issue before under the Conservatives as well. This is from Millie Cook on The Independent. The government is under growing pressures over its manifesto pledge to ban trail hunting, as plans to change the law have been dubbed unjustified by campaign groups. Traditional hunts were replaced with trail hunting, which involves laying a trail using a rag soaked in animal scent. In 2004, after the Labour government restricted the practice. It mimics traditional fox hunting with dogs, but without chasing, injuring, or killing an animal. However, animal welfare campaigners have argued it's being used as a smokescreen to continue to hunt wild foxes illegally. Oh, no, we're not hunting foxes. Yeah, we have a soaked cloth. Yeah. There's no foxes out here. The Labour's government plan came under the spotlight as the annual Boxing Day hunts met on Thursday, which is today, the December 26th, with the Countryside Alliance warning that further changes to the law are completely unjustified, as people were carrying out a legitimate legal activity that brought the rural community together. Labour, which introduced the original ban on hunting with dogs, pledged in its manifesto this year to ban trail hunting as part of what it says are measures to improve animal welfare. But Tim Boner, that's his name, the Countryside Alliance chief executive, said the issues of the trail hunting was irrelevant to most people, and it would be extraordinary for Labour to focus on it given the poor state of relations with rural communities. It comes just weeks after ministers imposed the inheritance tax on farmland for the first time since 1992, with a 20% rate being paid for all land valued at £1 million or more. So, yeah, that means if you're, I'm going to go retire, you can have the farm. Well, your farm is worth $5 million, so you're going to have to pay some taxes on that, buddy. However, campaign groups are piling pressures on the government to go further to legislate against animal cruelty, as an estimated 250 hunts took place for the traditional Boxing Day meat. The League Against Cruel Sports said figures compiled by its intelligence team found that since the beginning of August, 186 foxes were reported to being pursued by hunts, and there were 220 reports relating to suspected illegal hunting incidents. Yeah, so supposedly they're not hunting foxes, but they totally are hunting foxes. There are also...
Let's kill anything that isn't... Let's clear anything that kills anything else, right?
Yeah.
Because, killing is bad!
Yeah.
Right. Killing's bad, and you're killing. I'm so confused about you.
Happy Boxing Day, Tommy. There are also 553 reports of hunt havoc in which hounds cause disruptions such as chasing other wild animals or pets, worrying livestock, or causing traffic incidents, or disturbing the public, the organization said. Emma Jed, head of the campaigns at the League Against Cruel Sports, said, "Hunts may claim they are following a pre-laid animal scent trail known as trail hunting, but this has been shown to be nothing but a smokescreen to conceal old-fashioned illegal hunting." Yes, stand tall for animals. Meanwhile, analysis compiled in May this year by the Pressures Group indicated that a majority of people support strengthening laws preventing fox hunting, including me, even though I don't live in the UK. Dan Norris, Labour MP for North East Somerset, and Hannam, the organization's chairman, urged ministers listen to the majority view, including in rural areas, to close the legal loopholes that allow needless cruelty to animals and implement a proper ban on hunting once for all. Yeah, let's put some urine on their clothes and watch them run down the trail. See how they like being hunted by their dogs. But earlier this year, a new report revealed that banning trail hunting will not stop hunts from killing foxes. No, because these people are already doing it illegally, so they don't care. Hunting and deer, because hunters would find other ways around the... Like, why are they killing deer, dude? Like, there's not enough foxes in the UK. The UK has no wildlife because of all this hunting that they did during the 1800s and 1900s.
Now there's too many deer.
Well, there's not. There's not enough deer.
No?
No, they have very low wildlife populations. They barely have any wild animals in the UK because they just hunted them all to endangerment. I mean, they lost the wolf.
Right.
They lost the British wolf, is gone. I think it's extinct. So the same thing happened here on mainland Europe as well. They have to reintroduce wolves to Belgium because they out-hunted their wolves.
Too much leisure time.
Yeah.
Too much leisure time, England. That's what it is. You got too much leisure time.
I'm bored. Let's go kill stuff.
They probably lead the world in leisure time there. They probably always have. At least during my life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
the report seen by The Independent was drawn up by hunting opponents who claimed the law is too easily abused, leaving wildlife with too little protection. Meanwhile, Mr. Bonner accused parts of the Labour Party of politics of perceived class and prejudice, saying there were 12,000 hunting days carried out each year, which were legal and legitimate. You know what? Fuck high-class people who go hunting. Boo! They're like, you're hurting the rural farmers. You're not hurting the rural farmers. You're ruining the people who have 5 estates in the country who like take their horses out once a year to go run down a trail. That's the rich people are being hurt here. Yeah,
there's some poor farmer waiting at the road. Is like, when are the fox hunters coming back? I don't have enough money. No, he's not making. I can't plant my crops until the fox hunters come back.
Yeah. It comes amid reports that fox hunters are set to face harsher penalties under plans being pursued by the government, leading countryside groups to accuse the government of picking another fight with the rural communities. They're not rural. They're city people who go to the rural communities and then fuck off.
Communities.
Yeah.
What about the people who raise the dogs? What about the poor guy who trains the bloodhounds? He's being economically impacted in his little niche job where he doesn't have to go to work every day like the rest of us. Poor suckers.
Let's not even go into breeding dogs, which is also inhumane in a lot of ways. The government has reportedly considered going further than its proposed ban on trail hunting, including introducing higher fines for those who break the existing fox hunting law, and making it easier to prosecute hunters if a fox is killed by accident, the Telegraph reported. The Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, refused to officially deny the reports when approached by The Independent, but a source said the government has no immediate plans to introduce the changes. A DEFRA spokesperson said, This government was elected on a mandate to introduce the most ambitious animal welfare plans in a generation, and that is exactly what we will do. We are committed to a ban on trail hunting, which is being exploited as a smokescreen to cruelly kill foxes and hares. So there you go. Hopefully, the Labour government's doing one thing, I guess, which is making sure hares and foxes aren't getting torn to shreds by 50 hunting dogs. There's a picture here of like 50 dogs and like 4 people on horses. There's so many hunting dogs. Wow.
Oh, there might be too many rabbits. There might be that.
Oh, that's definitely a problem for the Netherlands. They do have to kill rabbits because the rabbits eat through the dikes, and then you flood your entire land because everyone dies from a flood because the rabbits ate through the dike. But
and they breed like crazy. They just that's the reason people say they breed like rabbits, because rabbits are like, remember going through Scotland, we took that back road and all of a sudden there was 80 million rabbits everywhere, and it was like, oh shit, this is a python scene.
But there's a difference to curbing populations to make sure the environment survives versus, you know, let's just kill all the foxes in Derbyshire or whatever, and woohoo! We did it! We extincted them.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. There you try to live on our planet along with us, you silly foxes. What are you thinking back? Fox minds. Okay.
On to your story.
All right, science news. This is from AP. A new neutrino, it's hard to say, a new neutrino detector in China aims to spot mysterious ghost particles lurking around us. So China is looking at this stuff that we can't see. The authors are a name I can't pronounce. It is at least 20 letters in it. Aditi Ramakrishnan. That wasn't so bad. And Ning Han Guan. Yes, Vietnamese name perhaps. Underneath a granite hill in southern China, this is a story from AP. Did I say that already? I probably did. Underneath a granite hill in southern China, a massive detector is nearly complete that will sniff out mysterious ghost particles lurking around us. Oh, there's one. Missed it. The Jiangmen Underground Neutrino Observatory, or the Juno, if we were going to make an acronym, which I hope they did, will soon begin the difficult task of spotting neutrinos, tiny cosmic particles with a mind-boggling small mass. The detector is one of 3 being built across the globe to study these elusive ghost particles in the finest detail. The other 2, based in the United States and Japan, are still under construction. But China could probably make people work all night, so they're probably ahead of us, right? Spying neutrinos is no small feat in the quest to understand how the universe can be. The Chinese effort, set to go online next year, will push the technology to new limits, said Andre de Gova, a theoretical physicist at Northwestern University, who's not involved in the project. If they can pull that off, he said, it would be amazing. What are neutrinos? What are neutrinos? Well, you can't eat them. Well, maybe you just eat them by accident.
I'm eating them right now. Delicious.
I had a neutrino soup for lunch last night. It was dinner last night. It was awesome. Little bits of bacon in it. Made it just tasty. Neutrinos date back to the Big Bang, and zillions zoom through our bodies every second. They zoom through our bodies. Trillions. They spew from stars like the sun and stream out when atomic bits collide with a particle accelerator.
I changed my mind. I don't want star spew.
It's all over you, man. It's too late. Scientists have known about the existence of neutrinos for almost a century, but they're still in the early stages of figuring out what the particles really are. It's the least understood particle in our world, said Ko Jun, who helps manage the detector known as Juno. They did turn it into an acronym that spells Juno, which of course they did. That's why we need to study it. There's no way to spot the tiny neutrinos whizzing around on their own. Instead, scientists measure what happens when they collide with other bits of matter, producing flashes of light or charged particles. Neutrinos bump into other particles only very rarely. So to up their chances of catching a collision, physicists have to think big. A solution of how we measure these neutrinos is building a very, very big detectors. Bigger than the sky. We're going to cover the sky with it and block out the sun. No, that's happening. I made that part up. A big detector to measure tiny particles. A $300 million detector in Kaiping, China took over 9 years to build. Its location, 2,297 feet underground, protects it from pesky cosmic rays and radiation that could throw off its neutrino sniffing abilities. On Wednesdays, workers begin the final step in construction. Eventually, they'll fill the orb-shaped detector with liquid designed to emit light when neutrinos pass through and submerge the whole thing in purified water. It'll study anti-neutrinos, an opposite to neutrinos, which allows scientists to understand their behavior. Produced from collisions inside 2 nuclear power plants located over 31 miles away. When the anti-neutrinos come into contact with particles inside the detector, they'll produce a flash of light. The detector is specially designed to answer a key question about long-standing mystery. Neutrinos switch between 3 flavors. Apparently you can taste them. Neutrinos switch between 3 flavors as they zip through space, and scientists want to rank them from lightest to heaviest. Sensing these subtle shifts in the already evasive particles will be a challenge, said Kate Schallberg, a physicist at Duke University, who is not involved with the project. It's actually a very daring thing to even go after it, she said. China's detector is set to operate during the second half of next year. After that, it will take some time to collect and analyze the data, so scientists will have to keep waiting to fully unearth the secret lives of neutrinos. 2 similar neutrino detectors, Japan's Hyper Kamiokande and the Deep Underground Neutrino Experiment based in the United States, which is DUNE. There you go, very clever acronym there. Are under construction. They're set to go online in 2027 and 31, and will cross-check China's detector results using different approaches. In the end, we'll have a better understanding of the nature of physics, said Wang Yifang, chief scientist and project manager for the Chinese effort. Though neutrinos barely interact with other particles, they've been around since the dawn of time. Studying these Big Bang relics can clue scientists into how the universe evolved and expanded billions of years ago. They're a big part of the picture, Schulberg said. One question researchers hope neutrinos can help answer is why the universe is overwhelmingly made up of matter, with its opposing counterpart called antimatter largely snuffed out. Scientists don't know how things got to be out of balance, but they think neutrinos could have helped write the earliest rules of matter. Proof, scientists say, may lie in the particles. They'll have to catch them to find out. So China's getting close to finishing their big neutrino catcher, and good luck to them, and someday we'll figure out what the hell they're talking about. But right now we just have to wait. And of course, these are just things we don't see, we don't observe. They're happening constantly. Perhaps if we were more sensitive to them, we would notice them, but hey, we're not. Maybe there was a time we were.
Maybe it's the secret to life.
Yeah, probably. And inside of it, we'll find how to teleport people across galaxies. We don't have to go with this messy space travel nonsense. Anyway, here's your story.
It's the stuff dreams are made of. Maybe we're all dreaming through those. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's a mode of communications we can use.
Yeah, maybe that's what brainwaves are made out of. I don't know. Okay.
Right.
Maybe
it's a way to talk to animals.
Quantum science to engineering, architecture. The A-story tunnel. This is from Jeannie Barone on CNN. In the Faroe Islands, wild, unpredictable weather, fierce wind and rain and thick fog that settles like a curtain can sometimes make travel by car or ferry very problematic. No wonder the Faroes love their tunnels. They've built 17 of them on land and 4 subsea, including the world's only subsea tunnel with a roundabout that's underwater. That's really cool. The network makes for easy navigation of the self-governing island nation within the Kingdom of Denmark. Though we are 18 islands, we often joke that, because of the tunnels, we defy the fact that we are islands, says Susanna Sorsen, marketing manager of the Visit Faroe Islands initiative. Located in the North Atlantic, halfway between Iceland and Scotland, the volcanic islands and world scenery wows visitors. The two latest subsea tunnels are statement markers too. These are our Eiffel Tower, or Big Ben, says Teitur Samuelson, CEO of Eistur og Sandor Tunnelar, the company operating the tunnel. I apologize for my Icelandic yet again. This is the second day I've had to speak Icelandic, with people, especially tourists, driving through them just to see the art. I think it's just a cool experience to drive through the tunnel. I think a lot of people use the Channel Tunnel for the same reason, right? It's just cool to be in the Channel Tunnel. Art? Yes, indeed. A stunning marriage of art and engineering. Every day, more than 6,000 vehicles travel through the nearly 7-mile or 11-kilometer subsea tunnel connecting Streymoy, the largest of the Faroe Islands, and home to Tórshavn, one of the world's smallest capitals, with Eysturoy, the archipelago's next biggest island. In addition to its stunning natural landscapes, Eysturoy is home to the G Festival, an outstanding local and international music event held each July in the waterfront village of Gjordrugota. Sorry, there's a lot of weird letters in there. G with an exclamation mark. Construction of the Eysturoy tunnel took about 4 years. That's not that long. Building a subsea level tunnel, that's pretty. I think before it used to take decades. And it opened in December in 2020. These subsea tunnels are created by using the drill and blast method, drilling holes in the basalt, a strong ingenious rock, and then packing the holes with dynamite. These subsea tunnels are created by using I read that. At its lowest point, the tunnel is about 614 feet, or 187 meters below sea level, and though having the North Atlantic over your head might provoke anxiety, you can feel confident in its construction, says Samuelson. The tunnels are designed by the world's leading engineers and geologists, so safety with regards to the Atlantic above is not an issue, he says. Actually, the drive is kind of a magical experience, with the highlight being a sculptural roundabout with shifting colors that is so striking some compare it to the aurora borealis or jellyfish glowing in the sunlight. The roundabout, nicknamed the Jellyfish, is certainly a tourist attraction, says Sorensen, making many take several turns around the roundabout just to soak up the mesmerizing scene. Hey look, Big Ben, Parliament! But instead it's, hey look, Jellyfish roundabout, or something. Reverend Faroe's artist Tróndur Patrursson was commissioned to create this vibrant installation, but why spend time and money putting art in a subsea tunnel? We have a lot of good art in the Faroes, and we'd like to support our artists in addition. It breaks up the monotony in a long, dark tunnel, so it's good for driving safety, says Samuelson. Yeah, you don't want to fall asleep on the wheel in a tunnel. When the tunnel was created, a natural central basalt column was left standing for the roundabout, where the tunnel branches off towards Strendur and Rokin, located on either side of the fjord on Eysturoy. The central column, radiating clouds of color, is ringed at its base by a striking steel sculpture. Drivers gaze at the steel ring of silhouettes, life-size people holding hands around the pillar and looking inward at the ever-changing lights. Patrursson has said that his intent was to represent how the Faroes, despite living in a rugged environment, are resilient, united in their accomplishments by working together, but for many, the circle of interlinked figures is evocative of the traditional Faroese chain dance that you observe if you visit the Faroes for Olavsoka National Day on July 29th. Beyond the visual, the tunnel is also saturated with auditory art. Musician Jens L. Thomsen composed the ethereal soundscape that you can listen by tuning into FM 97 when driving through. Oh, I love that. I love when they incorporate the radio into like a art thing so that you can get like the two different points of experience from it. The experience was created by recording the sound of the construction as well as the silence in the tunnels, says Thompson, instead of using conventional instruments. This technique allowed me to find the voice of the tunnel, adds Thompson. The Aostory Tunnel isn't the only dazzling undersea experience. Since December 2023, Streymoy and the wee island of Sandoy have been connected by the latest subsea tunnel, the Sandoy Tunnel. About 1,000 vehicles a day navigate the approximately 6.5-mile stretch that at its nadir is 508 feet or 159 meters below the North Atlantic. You'll find the visual and auditory art enthralling here as well. Along the rough basalt walls, almost a dozen glowing images reference some of the characters in the Faroese folklore, such as a bishop wielding a battle axe and an old witch and a seal woman. This is the creation of Edward Fuglo, a prominent Faroese artist who put a contemporary take on ancient cave paintings. He also depicts birds as homage to self-taught 19th century bird painter Diorigur Skarvanassi, the first known visual artist in the Faroes. Sonleif Ramusson, a renowned Faroese composer, created the acoustic landscape. I had to dream of the melody, says Ramusson. He relied on some of the sounds of the tunnel, including water dripping during the construction, as well as music by lead singer of the pop group Snowflakes, to produce the inventive electroacoustic work. This creates a surreal experience for those drivers turning into FM 100. So you hear that right, 97 for the other tunnel, but 100 for this one. While navigating the tunnel to Sandoy, where white sandy beaches, tall sand dunes, it's only ones in the archipelago and an expensive lake that's perfect for kayaking. Okay, I'm going to the Faroe Islands. I get it. God.
It's a tourist bureau.
Yeah, hello. With all the well-developed tunnel infrastructure, it's going easy for all guests to move around the country, said Sorensen. With the roundabout tunnel, the driving time from the capital city, Tórshavn, to the island of Eysturoy was cut from about 60 minutes to 15. Wow! That is really... That's like a train. It's also easier to visit other islands. You can drive to Tórshavn to Klaksvík, the second largest city, located on Bordeaux, in just 45 minutes versus the 75 minutes previously at Sorensen. The Sandoy Tunnel has been especially life-changing. More and more people are now moving to Sandoy from Tórshavn. In one village where 145 people live, 10 apartments are under construction. This is a lot for us, says resident Barbara of Skardi, who would never have considered moving to Sandoy if it wasn't for the tunnel. During winter, the ferry sometime could be cancelled for days because of the gusty winds and unpredictable current, she says. New businesses are opening and others are seeing an uptick in visitors. Because of the tunnel, my wife, Baba, and I moved back to Sandoy and opened Cafe Retro, says business co-owner Davor Jacobson. And according to Olivor Laudal, director of the Sandur Art Museum, the number of visitors has more than doubled since the tunnel opened. These inventive undersea creations blend art and technology and mark a new era of connectedness for these remote islands. Now let's build that Atlantic tunnel, and we can connect Leon, I don't know.
Get your shovel, Leon.
Connect New York to France or something. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It's right out of the brain of Leon Musk, man. He said, "Oh, so we're gonna build a tunnel from New York to London." I'm like, "Why London? Why not Ireland? It's closer." Yeah, geez. Yeah.
But that's my story on the. I guess start booking your tickets for the Faroe Islands by July 29th, so you can see their huge National Day Festival, I guess, and drive around in these really cool undersea tunnels I had no idea about. So I'm glad I found this story today.
That could have been in your Good News Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the article was written until today. So it was written today on CNN. So
it's always next Tuesday. All right. Well, Good News Thursday. Kind of sounds
not the same. It's not the same.
Good Thursday. Good. Nah, it doesn't work out. Can't do the wordplay. Okay, I haven't found the video yet, so I don't know. It came up empty. Everything was just crap. That wasn't fun. All right, so we're gonna talk about the Thursday 13 with the 13 thrillers, or just Let's call them thrillers. They're all thrillers that take place, that you forgot take place during Christmas. This is from getpocket.com. They came up with 11. I had to go find 2 more. It wasn't that hard, actually, because Hollywood loves Christmas. I think they just love it. They love the colors. I think the set designers love it. Hey, let's make it during Christmas. Okay, let's do that. That way we got this set design already done from the last movie, right? It's real easy to sell people on Christmas movies, too, I think. Anyway, this is from Dwyer Murphy, and the last 2 are going to be added by other websites where I had to look up other movies. But we'll get to them when we get to them. 10 thrillers you forgot took place during Christmas. We're not going to read the introduction. We're just going to say, there's movies that Christmas Story, It's a Wonderful Life. Like It's a Wonderful Life, he doesn't mention Christmas, but it was released during Christmas, and the ending scenes are in Christmas. Actually, the beginning scenes on Christmas Eve. So it's all centered around the Christmas holiday. But here's some other ones. Let's get started. 3 Days of the Condor, not the Concorde. 3 Days of the Condor, 1975. There's nothing like a holiday season in New York. The storefronts are decorated, the lights are up, silver bells ring in the street. That's right, they're all ringing like crazy. And when you step out to the lunch counter to pick up a few sandwiches, wet units come in and take your entire office and all your coworkers. Yeah, wet units. In this classic, Robert Redford plays a bookish CIA man caught up in the middle of an explosive revelation cover-up that sends him on a run, using his only knowledge of mystery novels to elude capture and certain death. In the wind, he comes across Faye Dunaway doing a little last-minute shopping before heading out of town for a ski trip with her boyfriend. And together, they pretty much outfox all the intelligence agencies of the Western world. Yeah, Faye Dunaway. Hidden talent you didn't know about. Meanwhile, in the background, again and again, choirs are singing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen to make sure you never forget it's Christmas. Our next one, number 2, Enemy of the State, 1998. It's appropriate enough that Tony Scott and Jerry Bruckheimer's homage to the 70s conspiracy thriller took place during Christmas. It's Progenitor. 3 Days of the Condor. Will Smith plays Robert Clayton Dean, a labor lawyer who's just trying to spend some rare downtime shopping for lingerie for his wife when he bumps into an old college friend who desperately plants highly sensitive material on his person, setting off this individual against the agency chase film. In fact, Christmas presents play a crucial role in this one again and again. As a pivotal package, some very incriminating video taken by a wildlife researcher gets mistaken for a Christmas presents and lost in the shuffle of holiday season. Also, Dean's Georgetown home is just lovely, and decorated for the season. Number 3, movie I watched last night and we were talking about earlier, LA Confidential. The first time Officer Bud White lays eyes on Lynn Bracken, the Veronica Lake doppelganger played by Kim Basinger, he is picking up a case of booze for the precinct Christmas party, the same party where a slew of drunken cops go downstairs to beat the hell out of the detainees they blame for a cop shooting. It's known as the Bloody Christmas Disaster and makes it the career of one ambitious cop named Preston Exley, played by Guy Pearce, who I keep commenting. I've never seen Guy Pearce in any other movie. Have you? Remember the guy in that movie? The lead character? You never see him in anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Russell Crowe plays Bud White, and you see Kevin Spacey in a lot of stuff, and Danny DeVito. Everybody in that movie is in something else. But that Guy Pearce, it's like people will do a story on why Guy Pearce is not in any other movies. By the time the night all murders come around, the holidays are in the rear view, but the festive season lingers as a sinister turning point in this neo-noir classic adapted from the Elroy novel. Number 4 is Ronin, made in 1998. What did we say? LA Confidential, 97. This must have been the year where they just didn't want to turn on the Christmas sets. Right? We got all these Christmas sets. Leave them. We got another movie coming in. This late 90s action thriller is mostly remembered for its car chases, Ronin, I'm talking about, The buddy chemistry between Robert De Niro and Jean Reno, and the incandescent performance by Natasha McElhone. Okay, you probably don't remember that part, but I do. It's in parentheses by this author. So I don't know this movie, so I don't know what he's talking about. Recall, if you will, this is also a Christmas time in France movie, just like Home Alone is, kind of. A group of elite special ops mercenaries are brought together to snatch an undisclosed package on behalf of the shady militant types like the IRA splinter group, and all hell breaks loose. Stellan Skarsgård takes a sinister turn, and next thing you know, a bunch of very quaint Christmas choirs are in mortal danger as cars, guns, and explosives go charging through the villages of southern France. Like World War II. Also, there's some samurai mumbo-jumbo espoused as life philosophy for a bunch of crafty hired guns. But mostly there's De Niro, Reno, McElhone, Skarsgård, and Christmas. So that movie is called
Skarsgård.
Our 5 on the list is called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's an old Nancy Sinatra movie, I think. Song, sorry. I've seen this Shane Black crime flick. You probably didn't forget that it took place during Christmas. If you've seen this Shane Black crime flick, you probably didn't forget that it took place during Christmas. Since that seedy Christmas in LA vibe is stamped all over this one, plus Robert Downey Jr.'s New York City thief opens the movie robbing a toy store looking for a present for his niece, but it's still worth revisiting every year come the holidays. Val Kilmer and Monahan take turns stealing scenes throughout this one. The sexual politics are not aging well. Let's keep that in mind. Still, the two are dynamite in their parts. And as this Chandler homage, I'm just mentioning the name Chandler out of nowhere. As this Chandler homage gets increasingly madcap and borderline nonsensical as the scene progresses. Come for the holiday setting, stay for the patter. I think Chandler just talking about the guy who used to write dime novels. What was his name? Forget his name. Maybe you know it. Number 6 is Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, sure, it might be a stretch to call Stanley Kubrick's brooding 1999 meditation on a marriage a thriller, but if you're into amateur sleuths, high society mysteries, long walks down dark streets of New York City, you might very well find this one as thrilling as I do. Also, that piano music, chilling. The whole thing kicks off as Dr. Bill Halford and his wife Alice Harford attending an annual Christmas ball where all the usual holiday stuff happens: an intense flirtation with a Hungarian count, an overdose in a breakout room, and a confidential chat afterwards between husband and wife where they disclose their deepest, darkest secrets. Once Dr. Bill goes mobile, Kubrick revels in all the holiday kitsch of 90s Greenwich Village with the sleazy lounge acts, the garish light displays, and cold street walkers working the corners. Maybe your family usually sits around the hearth and watches It's a Wonderful Life every Christmas, but consider throwing a curveball at them this year and introducing to the world of Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, a bunch of rich people doing debauchery. That was number, I think, 7 or 6. It had to be 7, right? 5, 6. That was 6. Number 7 is The Godfather. That's right. Oh, sure. Okay, sure. Let's do this again. Okay, sure. This is a movie more of an epic, not a thriller, and can be said to take place during any time of the year. But the holiday scenes are memorable. Whether it's Michael and Kay out Christmas shopping in New York when they find that somebody has tried to assassinate Michael's father, the big man himself, Vito, or the haunting stories of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas playing as a bulletproof vest is secured in place. Plus, The Godfather remains one of America's most commonly watched movies at year's end, probably because cable loves to eat up that airtime with this trilogy.
Oh, that's true.
The first two.
Yeah.
And anyway, it's all about family, isn't it? There you go. 1971's French Connection, which is number 8 on our list. Who could forget Popeye Doyle in that Santa suit? The film, that's Gene Hackman, of course, chasing a bad guy in a Santa suit. One of the more memorable scenes. The film opens with his Christmas bona fides. Merry Christmas, Popeye says, then pretty quickly after launches into a high-speed foot pursuit through the streets, back alleys, and dive bars of Brooklyn. Pretty soon he's going from street to street, level bus up the chain, following the middle traffickers. Okay, let's do this again. Pretty soon he's going from street level bus up the chain, following the middle traffickers across New York as they do their department store holiday shopping. Meanwhile, the kilos of dope are pouring through the city's ports. It's everything you want in a Christmas movie. Foot chases, car chases, Frenchmen, weird musical interludes, and more car chases. And Popeye in the iconic pork pie hat. Our number 9 is Silent Partner. Made in 1978. You might not be familiar with this one, but you should be. Elliot Gould and Christopher Plummer star as a bank teller and a bank robber, respectively, who get tangled in an intricate and really pretty strange series of con jobs, setups, thefts, and all about revolving around Christmas. In fact, when we meet the pair, Plummer is dressed up as a kind of sleazy mall Santa in the middle of the bank heist. All that, and you get a really interesting jazz score by none other than legend Oscar Peterson. It's basically a cooler version of Charlie Brown's Christmas. Nothing's cooler than Charlie Brown Christmas, dude. You need to think that. Anyway, Lady of the Lake is number 10.
Really? Okay.
Stop counting. Let's start counting. Lady of the Lake from 1947. From the opening holiday theme credits, you'd be excused for thinking this is a Frank Capra movie. But no, this is Raymond Chandler. That's the guy we're talking about, the dime novel guy. This is all Raymond Chandler's, slightly less heralding than some of the splashier adaptations, but still a Philip Marlowe investigation and well worth watching, especially for the innovative first-person perspective employed by Robert Montgomery. Also, Robert Montgomery, the father of he was the director and father of Elizabeth Montgomery. Anyway. Also, the choral soundtrack is pretty haunting. Not to mention all those bizarre Christmas decorations lying all over the place as Marlowe goes in search of a missing person / murderer. And our bonus, the Christmas party from the movie Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. This will be 11, as I lost count somewhere in there. I just love this scene so much. There's nothing quite so good as a British Secret Service getting together for the holidays and do some heavy drinking, heavy petting, and rousing rendition of the second best secret agent in the whole wide world. So that's their 11. Number 12, I had to go outside this source, and I had to go to a place called theparade.com, where they put forward Gremlins. Yes, Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
Oh, that is. Oh, you don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Because Gremlins is a Christmas present, right? So why is it Christmas? Here's 4 key reasons. Number one is Gremlins' Christmas setting is an integral part of its plot. Right? It's set in a fictional Rockwellian town of Kingston Falls. Gremlins set in motion will well-meaning of irresponsible father gives his son a Mogwai, following his disaster breaking of Wings 3 Mogwai rules: never get it wet, no bright lights, and don't feed after midnight. Lovable Mogwai Gizmo replicates, and little green goblins start popping up over town
and also, causing havoc.
Billy Peltzer is a kind of lovable everyman is always appealing, but especially at Christmas time. The next reason is Gremlins is a Yuletide morality tale where Scrooges get their comeuppance. And this 4th reason is Gremlins has an evergreen message about crass consumerism that's especially relevant at Christmas time. And our number 13 Christmas thriller, Edward Scissorhands. Yes.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands.
Classic.
Yeah. There's no better movie to enter the great Christmas movie debate than Tim Burton's unusual classic, Edward Scissorhands. How much of Edward Scissorhands takes place at Christmas? The last third of the film. It centers around Peg's annual Christmas party. Though after Edward was arrested for burglary and Joyce lied about him, forcing himself on her, no one wants to attend the gala. It's a festive time in the neighborhood with lights strung up throughout. Peg's white tree has turned her house into a Christmas wonderland worthy of Goodfellas. A flashback to the inventor's sad death also takes place near Christmas, a scene he still can't handle. The single most Christmassy moment comes when Winona Ryder's Kim goes into the backyard to find Edward making an angel ice sculpture that creates beautiful sprinkling of snow. The same effect is seen at the beginning at the end of the film when the very old Ken tells her granddaughter the story of the man with scissors for hands. While those scenes don't take place at Christmas, they have the same ethos. So they are movies that are definitely Christmas movies because Hollywood loves Christmas. I think that's what it is. Back to you.
All right, I sent you a video that you can watch. And so there you go.
Okay.
We'll just do some Kwanzaa dancing. Okay.
Woohoo!
From Christmas movies to Kwanzaa celebrations. That's right, Kwanzaa starts today all the way until I believe I think it's only a week. It's a week-long celebration.
7 days. 7 days.
7 days, yeah.
It has here.
This is from David Moore-Quand on Euronews Culture. Described as a political motivator holiday, Kwanzaa has become internationally recognized as a celebration of African culture and community. And here's everything you need to know. Kwanzaa starts today, and over the years it has become an internationally recognized celebration of African culture and community, not only in the United States, but in all countries with large African descendant populations, or as other peoples like to call a diaspora. Is that what that's called? The holiday is a week-long celebration of family, community, and culture, marking African American heritage, as well as an event reinforcing self-determination and unity in the face of oppression. Each year is celebrated from the 26th of December to the 1st of January. Each day, observers greet each other with Habari Gani, which means, "What's the news?" Kwanzaa was founded by Black nationalist author and professor Maulana Karenga in 1966 as a way to reconnect Black communities in the U.S. with important African cultural traditions that were severed by the transatlantic slave trade. It was shaped by the defining decades of fierce strivings and struggles for freedom, justice, and association good raged by Africans and other people of color all over the world in the 1960s. Karenga wrote in his annual Kwanzaa address last year, "Kwanzaa thus became into being, grounded itself and grew as an act of freedom, an instrument of freedom, and a celebration of freedom and a practice of freedom." The name Kwanzaa is derived from the Swahili phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits or first harvest. The final A was added to the name to accommodate the 7 children present at the first Kwanzaa, each of whom were given a letter to represent. That's why they also use candles like in Hanukkah. The holiday is governed by 7 principles, known collectively as the Nunzo Saba, and different principles celebrated each day. Umoja, unity. Kujichagulia, self-determination. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Ujama, cooperative economics. Nia, purpose. Kumba, creativity. And Imani, faith. The Nunguzo Saba is represented by a candle holder with 7 candles called a kinara. Each night, one of these candles is lit, with the candles being the same colors as the Kwanzaa flag. 3 red on the left, representing struggle, 3 green on the right, representing hope, and a single black candle that is placed in the center, representing the people. So, here's the breakdown. The 3 red candles are Umoja, unity, and on 26th of December, Kujikagulia, self-determination is on the 27th. Ujima, collective work and responsibility is on the 28th. So you do the red candles first. The central black candle is Ujama, cooperative economics on the 29th. Then the 3 candles are last with Nia, purpose on the 30th, Kumba, creativity on the 31st, and Imani, faith on the 1st of January. During Kwanzaa, people decorate their houses with colorful art and African cloth. Fresh fruits are put on the tables as centerpieces to represent African idealism. Activities over the 7 days are geared towards reaffirming community bonds, commemorating the past, and recommitting to the important African cultural ideals. The celebration also includes music, dance, reading poetry, and zawadi, gifts such as books and heritage symbols given to the children. Happy Kwanzaa! There you go.
Right on.
There's your
Hey, man.
your big Kwanzaa news, your big quick Kwanzaa notification. So start lighting those candles. I don't have any candles, but I'll do it in my head. I can do it digitally.
Yeah.
So today's
Digital candles.
Yeah. Today is the day to celebrate your unity. So whatever people you come from, be united with them, because what do they say? You're stronger together than you are apart. So don't let the oppressors separate us. We've got to stick together. Anyways, that's that.
Yeah, that's right.
And on to this day in history.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, as the saying goes. You all working together will achieve a lot more than you will separately.
Yep.
Working on whatever plan you got today that you've written on the palm of your hand, you haven't figured out quite. There's somebody else over there probably has a better plan. You might want to listen to their ideas. It's part of unity, teamwork. Yeah, I like the holiday. Definitely a purpose-driven holiday. Not just give me stuff.
Yeah, it comes from a great place of being completely cut off from your culture, not knowing where you even came from.
Totally thoughtful, introspective, and of course that's why it doesn't work in the United States, because we're a bunch of selfish, greedy assholes who just want our shit. Well, it came from the United States, so. Well, it was. Well, but again, the United States is the reason this has to exist. Who's been separated from Africa if it wasn't for the United States?
Yeah.
In existence, right? So it's the United States is just going to be, oh my God, it's a really nice holiday full of, let's ridicule it.
Yeah, that's true. They do make fun of it, but that's because the world is unfortunately very anti-black by default. So whenever black people do things, everyone has to make fun of it because they have no respect. No respect.
Trying to have some absolute.
Christmas is invented too, right? The Bible's invented too, right? Like, you're inventing stuff. That's
every holiday was invented.
Yeah, exactly.
Every holiday was invented. It wasn't like, oh my God, there's a calendar. It was just on the wall one day. Someone, God put it there. Here's a calendar. These are fucking holidays. You don't even have it anymore. Damn it. We're cutting it off at Easter. What? Okay, Halloween. Halloween's a holiday. Okay, here's another one. No, that's the way it happens, man. They're not given to you on a tablet from God. This day in history, by the way, as we stretch this out beyond human tolerance. On this day in 1647, Charles I and the Scots reached a secret agreement whereby the Scots offered to support the king's restoration to power in return for its acceptance of Presbyterianism in Scotland and its establishment in England for 3 years. Of course, what happened before this was Charles I dissolved Parliament, and a lot of protections for the non-Anglican and non-Catholic people and anybody who wasn't a perfect religion they left for the United States. They left for the world during that time. That's when the mass population of England, that was their biggest and most, what do you want to call, impactful immigration on the United States, was between 1627 and when Parliament got back to power. And you had the thousands of British Puritans reign their idiotic ideas on the United States before it was formed, on America, and of course wiped out the Indians through disease and dislocation.
All other bullshit. Yep. There's more crimes. Just more crimes.
Yeah. It was that time period when Charles I was in charge of shit. The second of these Stuart kings. 1791, King James being the first. English mathematician and inventor Charles Babbage, who credited with having conceived the first automatic digital computer, was born. Hello, the guy who invented the first computer was born this day in 1791. Charles Babbage. Why don't we call it the Babbage? That'd be a great name. In 1805, Napoleon enforced harsh penalties on Austria with the signing of the Treaty of Pressburg. 1893, Mao Zedong was born, chairman of the People's Republic of China. Looks all cute in his Mao suit, but let's make no mistake about it, he was a very cruel person. 1908, American boxer Jack Johnson defeated Tommy Burns in Sydney to become the first black fighter to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Jack Johnson, of course, immortalized by James Earl Jones in the movie Great White Hope. 1943, the German battlecruiser Scharnhorst was sunk by British battleship Duke of York during World War II. That's what you get for starting a war, you bastards. 1963, the Beatles single I Want to Hold Your Hand and I Saw Her Standing There B-side was first released in the United States, hugely successful. It helped launch Beatlemania. I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. It was a Christmas thing about holding on to someone's hand. Oh, hand. I want to hold your hand. Okay. Again, the Beatles songs were dismissed as teeny bopper stuff at the time. Then they met Bob Dylan and their music changed dramatically. 1973, the horror classic The Exorcist, an adaptation of William Peter Blatty's book about the young girl possessed by the devil, was released in the United States. Yep. The recipient of 10 Oscar nominations, including for director William Friedkin, and became one of the highest grossing films of all time. Of course, the puking scene in The Exorcist caused a chain reaction of puking across the country. A lot of people report that. Yep. When she started puking pea soup, people in theaters started losing it. Of course, there's a chain reaction. It's always a puke-orama. When one person pukes, the person next to them pukes. And you get that scene from Stand By Me. You remember that one? Where he's talking about the puke-orama? That one's great. Anyway. So yeah, The Exorcist premiered on this day in 1973. 1995, sad news, the slain body of American zoologist Diane Fossey, the world's leading authority on mountain gorilla, was found in Rwanda. It is widely suspected she was killed by poachers.
Wow.
Yeah, she was killed by poachers, basically. Fucking poachers. Rotten hell, poachers. 2006, Gerald Ford passed away. Gerald Ford was the 38th president of the United States, and the country's only chief executive was not elected as either president or vice president. Yes, he was appointed and immediately covered up the Nixon crimes. Way to go, Gerald. Oh, we got to move forward from this. And I'm like, why? The guy committed crimes. Lock him up. Anyway, 2021 on this day, E.O. Wilson died in Massachusetts. He's an American biologist and Pulitzer Prize winner, known for being the world's leading authority on ants. Ah, man, we lost the ant expert 3 years ago today. And today, which Britannica is just starting it as in a current events type thing, they announced that the celebration of Kwanzaa begins, which we just covered. So we don't have to describe it any further because you've covered it thoroughly. I was just going to tell you the 7 days and what they mean, but you just did that.
Yep.
Boxing Day. Also today, Boxing Day, celebrating a public holiday in the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. That's the day you switch places with your boss. And it's done in the military, which is quite interesting. Indian Ocean was the scene of a debacle, a horrible event. 20 years ago today was the tsunami. On this day in 2004, a large earthquake shook the Indian Ocean floor and the west of the island of Sumatra, triggering a devastating tsunami that swamped the coastal areas from Thailand to Africa and killed more than 200,000 people today. Known as the Boxing Day tsunami.
Yeah, no kidding. What the hell?
For now and for forever. Terrible, terrible tsunami. Where did all the water go? When you're at the beach and all the water just suddenly goes way, way out, get the hell off the beach. Don't wait for the tsunami alarm. Look for the nearest mountain and start heading there. Don't even try to take a car. Just run. Run the opposite direction of where that water just went. It's coming back. It ain't gonna stop when it comes back either. It's just gonna keep on going. So yeah, that was terrible. Our featured biography, Henry Miller, American author, born December 26, 1891 in New York. He lived to the ripe old age of 88. Also married Marilyn Monroe while he was doing that, which, you know, that's not a bad stopover as long as you're getting to be 88, right? He died June 7th, 1980 at the age of 88 in Pacific Palisades, California. He was much older than Marilyn Monroe and outlived her by a lot, too. Other famous birthdays, besides Henry Miller, Mao Zedong, it's Steve Allen, American entertainer, born in 1921, turns 103 today. He's not around. Phil Spector, American record producer and murderer, born in 1940. And David Sedaris, American humorist and essayist, born in 1956. Other days it is today. It is National Candy Cane Day. Yeah, them candy canes are hanging over your tree. Break them off and eat them. They might be 10 years old. but yeah, eat them anyway. National Thank You Note Day, which goes with Christmas, of course. Thank everybody who did things for you, made things for you. Buy them a bottle of wine. Take them out. Give them something. Pat on the back. They worked hard. National Thank You Note Day. And National Whiners Day, of course. We covered in our introduction. People not happy with anything. You know, everybody knows one. They can't wait to complain. So those are your days. December 26th, 2024. On Before Candy Canes.
I love sucking on a good candy cane. That's the only thing you really do with them. Because you can't crunch them because then you break your teeth. So don't do that.
Right.
And you've got to make them really sharp. And then stab your friends with them.
The dentist will appreciate your pepperminty breath, though.
Do they still do that, by the way? They make candy canes in like 50 million different flavors?
Of course. Why would they stop?
No, I just
haven't. They stop making?
I don't see. Honestly, candy canes are not a thing here, so I haven't seen candy canes in 7 years, probably more.
You need National Candy Cane Day, is what you need.
Obviously, yeah. I need to order some candy canes. All right, well, this has been Allison here from the Netherlands. No UN International Days today, so you're free from the UN.
Right on.
We will see you tomorrow for the Friday news dump, where we're going to cover all the news before the weekend, so you don't have to worry about it on the weekend. So make sure you're subscribed to the Allie and Raj channel and have your notifications on so you get notified when we go live or post a video. Comment down below what you will be doing for this. What your favorite thriller that happens to happen in Christmas is out of that list, or maybe there's some that weren't in the list that you would also like to put on there. And don't forget to like the video. On to our Kwanzaa-based mic drop moment. You started at the right time, right? That I gave you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. I started at the beginning. Where did you start it?
I told you to start at 1:20.
Okay. All right. I'm there.
You're too late. It's probably at 1:70 now, or 2 minutes now.
No, I forwarded ahead because I was at
okay.
40. So I did the math.
That's fine.
So they're banging on the drums and she's dancing.
Yeah. She's doing a traditional African dance for season harvest.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really important because, you know, the spring's coming, I guess. Very soon.
It won't be long now, another 3 months.
I mean, I wish I could do a dance like this. I'm terrible at remembering choreography.
That doesn't, I mean, it seems like she's about to fall over at certain times.
That's the trick. All right, time for the drum solo.
Take it. Take it, Hal.
Oh, they're going. Call and answer. Cool.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.